Making your own faction in Age of Wonders 4 can be confusing, so I'm here to go through the entire process and make it as simple as possible so that you can get creating in no time. Now, just before we get to the actual creation screen, we should probably have some sort of idea of what sort of faction you want to create. Factions in Age of Wonders are half role-playing and half actual statistical changes, so you need to decide what you're going for and what sort of playstyle you want to employ. Do you want to be a faction of warmongers who conquer the world by overwhelming power? Do you want to be a peaceful trade lord hoping to bring prosperity to the world and your people? Or do you want to be a faction of powerful mages cut off from others and destined to work alone? All of these are possible builds, so you need to have a think of what exactly you're going for. For this video, and probably for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be making some races from Warhammer, since they have a pre-written backstory and work in this same fantasy setting. Specifically today, I'm going to be making a Skaven faction. So heading into the creation menu, you first need to pick your physical form, and there are a lot to choose from. This is actually an entirely cosmetic option since the traits you choose from here are all the same no matter what. So choose whichever you like best. I'm going to go for the Ratkin because, you know, Skaven are rats. Now we can choose a body trait and a mind trait. These are mainly battle focused and will give your warriors of that race some nice bonuses such as more HP, high chance to land shots from a range, and much more. Choose whichever you like or whichever fits your theme and move on. I'm going to go for fast recuperation for increased replenishment on the world map, and sneaky since I'm going to go for Deathmaster Snitch. Plus this will give me increased flanking damage. Next, you choose your faction's culture, and this offers you specific bonuses and affinities based on a specific playstyle. It's more RP, but the choices you make will affect how your faction plays. Since I'm going for Sneaky Skaven, it only makes sense to go with Dark. This gets me a range of effects from being able to negate low stability, gaining extra resources from prisons and crypts, and having a choice of negative stats effects to place on enemies and dealing more damage to enemies inflicted with them. And of course, being a little bit evil on my alignment. Next up we have society traits, and again these will affect your affinity alongside providing some specific bonuses. I'm going for Shadow Walkers for that sneakiness. This will offer me a range of bonuses to gain me more vision and remain unseen while I move across the map. And of course, Prolific Swarmers. This will make for quick growth alongside cheaper and more powerful low tier units. Next, you have to choose your starting tome, which dictates your research options, more affinity, and likely what future tomes you'll go on to unlock. The Tome of the Horde is my first pick for this faction to make those tier 1 units even more powerful and flood the world with my early troops. You then have to choose your leader's origin, and for now there are two choices. Champion is more Golden City focused, whereas Wizard King is all about magic and mana. I'm going to go for Champion since it makes the most sense for my faction. Finally, we get to the customization screen, and from here you can choose exactly how your leader looks in a large number of ways. The only one that will make any gameplay difference is the weapon, which you can choose from the drop down at the top. That being said, you'll almost certainly find more powerful items pretty quickly in game, so it hardly matters. Once you're happy with your ruler, you can change how your troops will look in some minor ways. You can also choose the flag of your faction, and the colour you pick first will dictate the colour of your troops' armour, so you can make sure everything goes together. Finally, you give your faction and leader a name and you're all set. And that's really all there is to it. As I said, it's mostly for role-playing purposes rather than anything you can do wrong or right. Of course, there will be some builds that are way stronger than others, but if you're just looking to have some fun and get creative, then pretty much anything here is viable. That's all from me for now. Like, subscribe, and if you want more Age of Wonders 4, then check out this video to see my complete beginner's guide.